So you've been asked to run a meeting. As leadership communication skills go, this one is up there. It's harder than it looks, and it's very different from presenting at a meeting. Because unlike presenting, when you are leading a meeting, facilitating, moderating, whatever you want to say, you need to let others speak. And when you let other people speak, anything can happen. When a meeting goes wrong, you can have people rambling and going off topic. You can have crickets, nobody speaking. It can go on way, way longer than you want it to. And people can leave feeling like, this really could have been an email. But when it goes well, you can get this incredible sense of collaboration and progress. People really feeding off each other's energy and becoming more optimistic, more positive, more excited about the project that you're working on. I work with leaders and managers who are trying to adapt their communication so that they can get more out of their teams, while at the same time establishing their own credibility and achieving their own goals. And the way that you lead a meeting can go a long way towards this. So let's look at the two core principles to leading a successful meeting. The first principle is that you need to have a plan. And a plan starts with a purpose, a goal. What do you want to accomplish at this meeting? And your goal needs to be realistic. So if your goal is to put 12 strangers in a room for an hour and have them emerge with a detailed strategic plan, no, it isn't. That's not going to happen. Your goal needs to be something that can realistically be achieved by that group of people in that amount of time. Once you know your goal, you'll know who needs to be in the room in order to achieve it. And those people need to know what's up. They need to know what the goal is, how you're planning to achieve it, what the process is for making decisions. Are you doing democratic decision making? Are you looking for consensus? Is there one person who makes all the choices based on the input from the others? These are the things that need to be established in advance so we know whether the decision has been made. The second principle, and please don't get mad at me here, the second principle is that you need to be ready to abandon your plan. Sometimes you get in that room and you realize that what people need is not what you thought. Maybe there are disagreements you didn't know about. There are gaps in the knowledge that won't allow you to move forward. And so when that happens, you need to be ready to go off script and go to where people need you to be. Now, do not just spring this on people. Do not just veer from the agenda without warning. That's going to be really annoying and destabilizing for people who like predictability and thrive on knowing what's coming next. So just name it. Hey, we came in here with the goal of accomplishing X and Y, but I think before we do that, we really need to address this other issue. So how about we do that first? Then once you've gotten some kind of agreement from your group, don't just rush into it. Take a pause, okay? You have time. Take a pause. Look at your agenda. Figure out what is essential, what needs to be accomplished today, and what can you move? And those things that you move, how much time will they free up? So plan to use that time that you've freed up to address whatever needs to be addressed. Right now, make sure you get to any essential items on your agenda. Do not let that meeting bleed beyond the time that you've allocated for it unless you get everyone's agreement. No one will thank you for taking up their extra time unexpectedly. Make sure you leave time at the end for everyone to reflect, to ask their questions, and to summarize what needs to happen next. What are your next steps? Who's responsible? How much time do you need to do it? And how will you follow up? And ideally, make sure someone takes note of that and sends it around to all the participants later so they have a record. They can go back and check, what am I responsible for doing? Who else is going to be taking care of things that I can depend on? And finally, make sure you thank everyone for their participation and for their time. It's a small gesture, but it can really go a long way to building goodwill and making people feel like they are valued at those meetings, making people want to attend them more often. So this was just a very surface level introduction to the core principles of chairing or facilitating a meeting. There is a lot more that I could cover. So if you're interested in going deeper on this, Leave a comment, let me know. Is there something about running a meeting that you want to know more about? And I'll see if I can do that in a future video. And if you want one-on-one help with your facilitation skills, running meetings, working with your team, get in touch because that's what I do. Have a great day, everyone, and happy meetings.